This brand new rental community in Tempe has all the amenities: fitness center, dog park, outdoor kitchens, but something's missing. So there are no cars in this community at all.
Isn't it great?
Cul-de-sac is the first community in the U.S. designed and built specifically for car-free living. Co-founder Ryan Johnson says the demand is strong.
Every generation, and including 90% of Gen Z, would like to pay more to live in a walkable neighborhood.
Retail, restaurants, and to start, nearly 200 apartments, all within steps of each other. No cars means no parking spaces, no garages.
Because we don't have residential parking, it opens us up to have 55% landscape space. We get to add so much to the neighborhood.
Like social spaces around every corner. The complex is strategically located right next to the area's light rail system. All residents get a free pass. The first 200 also get a free electric e-bike, and a partnership with Lyft gets them discount rides.
I've been fine just going via rail or just biking.
Juan Ramos, among the first 100 to move in here, grew up in Arizona, but left because he didn't like the car-dependent sprawl. At 27, he just came back and says living car-free has opened his eyes.
Frankly, for most of the apartments I've lived in for years, I've never even talked to my neighbors. I know people, like, that's Pete over there, that's Ben over there, and I'm like, that's the first time I've said that.
Residents often gather near the retail stores, which focus on small businesses. Jada Stratman is moving both her home sense business and herself in.
It's not as affordable out here as it was a few years ago, and having that opportunity to live and work where you are and just have it as one, that's perfect.
Walkable neighborhoods are all well and good when the weather's fine, but temperatures here in the summer can sit over 100 degrees for weeks at a time. And that'll be the real test to see if carless living can really go the distance. Lester?
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto his like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. It's not because it's just a carless thing. I'm looking at this video. I'm looking at it real careful. These people are nothing but servants. They have a slave mentality. And this new age, this generation of individuals, they're not that bright. They're pretty dumb. All right. You could do this in your regular neighborhoods. You should be wanting to have your own space, your own. You should be wanting to be an individual than to be a lackey or sort. That's why it's perfect. So you will own nothing and be happy. This is a mindset of a servant. It's like whatchamacallit? There's not a program. There was a thing going on YouTube. My brother used to watch it, and it was about tiny apartments, and people would pay X amount of money. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find one. They'll pay X amount of money. When I mean X, I mean they will pay thousands of dollars for a tiny fucking apartment. Not a home. At least a home you could say, you may have a backyard. But a tiny ass apartment.
Good morning, New Yorkers. Looking for another beautiful day here in the city. Clouds to start us off out there. Temperatures stay in the high 40s. Tomorrow's forecast will be in the 60s. Beaches stay around 62.
Yeah, you just looked at it correctly. This is my first time seeing this. This is my first time seeing this. Even that is fucking ridiculous, yo. That's like a closet. How you gonna coming home to your 1200 New York studio? That's fucking ridiculous. So you willing to pay that price for that? You see, this is why, man. Even these nations need to be free because they have this dumb, retarded mindset. The earth is huge. It's big enough for everybody. There's no reason for people to live like this. Let me see this one.
This is the tiniest apartment in Manhattan, and yeah, it's pretty shocking. We're in the Upper West Side, and this is pretty much the entire unit. Not much of a view out of the window, but let's get into this. So we have an all-white appliance kitchen. Not bad. We have
Bro, this is the mindset of the people. I seen worse. Oh yeah, her shit. Oh, her shit is even far worse. I didn't know it was this long. I didn't want to. Matter of fact, tiny apartments.
Zoran Mamdani, very smooth.
That's a so-called mayor and candidate, and let this thing pass. All this is just a mindset. All right, they all have a peasant mindset. Look at this shit. Seriously.
So, welcome to my apartment.
Yo, this space is so small. How much do you pay for it?
$650.
What's the square footage?
80 by 150.
So really, it just feels like a walk-in closet, like,
It's in Midtown, so it's nice because it's not in a random spot.
like in Brooklyn or something.
Like in Brooklyn.
Wow. Holy shit.
Look at this shit.
Kitchen, no oven.
Are these clean or dirty dishes?
These are children. All right, these are children. This is you ever seen a child that create their own treehouse? All right, this is a child's mind. This is a childish mindset. All the screams of I don't want to be responsible, but I'm responsible because I'm paying this much money. But look how I'm living. These people are completely gone. All right. So going back to this, I mean, it's horrible. She have like a.
It's so dirty. This is like the only shelving space you have kind of over
Only
here.
shelving, yeah. It's kind of annoying.
This is very like college. Yeah,
It's so college. Feels like a dorm, yeah. We have a meet.
And the elevator don't fully go up. So going back to this right here, is no fucking difference. Oh, I didn't when I was living in the city, I didn't talk to nobody, and now I'm talking like that's your problem. That's your issue. So these people out here willing to give up any sort of rights that they had. Remember, you have God-given rights, and you have these privileges. The privileges they're taken from the people. All right, the privileges they're taken from the people. And once they take the privilege, people act like they can't live. We was living way before certain laws that was given, certain things that were given. But the people are gone. Isaiah 60:2, it says, "For behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people." These people don't know. They don't know the elbows from the assholes. They don't have no drive. All they want to do is be servants. And they have this servant mentality. Well, majority of them are servants. All right, this is their natural state. But even in that natural state, we're not gonna put them in like that. Now the Edomites, we're gonna just throw them in a pit. But as far as the other nations, they're not gonna be living like that. They won't. All right. That's what the scripture said. When the righteous are authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Deep down in their sick, pathetic life, they know that shit ain't right, man. That's not right. Okay. Let me see if we can find this real quick. Rule. It's in Proverbs. Nope. Proverbs. Wise servant shall rule over son. Nope. Proverbs 19:10. What did they do that for? It says, is it 19:10? Yeah. The light is not seemly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over princes. Read the NLT. It isn't right for a fool to live luxuriously. Wow. Or for a slave to rule over princes. That's why I had that in mind. Okay, so these fools that's in a position of power, people have this weird mindset that there's not enough food, there's not enough land, you know, the world's too overpopulated. And where did they get this idea? They get it from the rulers. Matter of fact, let me get real quick. No, it's 10. Ecclesiastes 10:6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low places. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants on the earth. So the servants, the natural born servants, are in a position of power. All right. And the princes are the true rulers are as servants. Okay. So everything's turned upside down. Isaiah 30. Isaiah 3:2 says, 3:12. As for my people, children are their oppressors. So who's oppressing us? Those that are less than us, which so happens to be Esau, Edom. This weird mindset that they put the people in, this is why the world is such in a devastated state, because you are what you eat, and your environment it relies on you. That's what scripture says about I get it. I have it in mind. It says, and women rule over them, O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, destroy the way of thy path, which is talking about Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Yes, what these bumbling imbeciles are doing affects you, because they already have this weird new world order mindset that has nothing to do with you. Nothing. That's not the way to live. That was not the Most High's um, attend. He didn't intend the world to be this way. Matter of fact, I was gonna get that. Let me get this instead. Deuteronomy 32, no 33, 32:8. It says, when the Most High divided the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. So he divided the nations. He gave them their own inheritance. He gave them their own land masses. He gave them their own land. He didn't intend everybody to be in one place. All right. That's why when you read Genesis the 11th chapter about the tower, the Lord's like, nah, they're not gonna do this. So even in that sense, I show you that the Lord didn't want everybody to these cities, these metropolitan areas, isn't that's not the Lord's attendance. Oh, scripture says what? Woe unto them that live house to house. Where is that? It's in Jeremiah, right? House to house. It should be Jeremiah. I think it's Jeremiah 17. Oh, come on. It's not that many. I know the word house, but jeez. It says, therefore, Jeremiah. Put a woe. Okay, Isaiah, sorry. 58, 5:8. It says, woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. So the Lord don't want people to be on top of one another. He gave people plenty of space. All right. So the New World Order agenda is to put people in these concentrated places. Okay. They have this is a weird, and they fall for the shit. Isaiah 45:18. It says, for thus saith Yahweh, that created the heavens The Most High himself that formed the earth and made it, he established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am the Lord thy power, and there is none else. So the Lord created the earth to be inhabited. All right. There's there's more than enough space on this planet to house everybody freely. All right. You have more than enough space to dwell, but people have this servant mindset because of Esau, Edom, because of this new world order agenda. Psalms 2:1, it says, "Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?" That's a vain thing because they want everybody to live like roaches and so forth. But that's never been the Lord's agenda. All right. Can you imagine everybody concentrated in one area and the rest of the lands, there's nothing going on there? Why do you think there's so much goddamn crime? Why do you think people lose their mind? It says, the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder. They cast away their cords from us, which are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You the true biblical Israelites. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, and the Lord shall have them in derision. Why is the Lord going to have this galactical conglomerate of nations be in derision? Because their agenda is this new world order. All right. Their agenda is to put everybody in one place so they could control and rule over them. It says here, 2nd Ezra 15 and 17. A man should desire to go into a city and should not be able. Those 15-minute cities. All right. You only everything is supposed to be in the facility of 15 minutes. That's going against completely what the Creator intended the world to be. That's why the scripture says, boom. I think I went over. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put in other two. It says Isaiah 24:4. So the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languish and fadeth away. The haunted people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled in the habitations thereof, because they transgressed the laws. And we always bring up the land Sabbath. Now, according to the law of the land Sabbath, when you farm or you set crops, you give it to 6-7 years. In that seventh year, I'm roughly paraphrasing it, you don't till the land again. You go somewhere else. So you move for where you was farming, so you could give that piece of the land time to heal itself, and that's what give everything its strength. But this bastard will use and abuse the lands consistently. All right, it's because they transgress the laws and change the ordinances. And honestly, part of the ordinances is what we'll call it. Just had it in my tip of my tongue. A neighbor's landmark. All right. Everybody had their matter of fact. I know there's one in Proverbs. Remove not the landmark. Right. Matter of fact, I'll just 27. Deuteronomy 27 and 17. Cursed be he that removeth his neighbor's landmark. And why would that the Lord said, curse he that removed the neighbor's landmark? Because that was a land that was given. Border, territory, enclosure within a border. So the borders is not these caves that we all living in, which is apartments. Apartments are nothing but caves. All right. Right now, it's colder in the apartment than it is outside because there's no heat. Crazy. It says, Job 24:2. Some remove the landmarks. They violently take away the flocks and feed thereof. Proverbs 22 and 28. It says, remove not the ancient landmark which the fathers have set. So certain people and their family had their land, their territory, that was supposed to give it on to the generations after. So what this devil did, he removed the bounds of the people, which it says here, Isaiah 10. It says Isaiah 10 and I believe it's 14. But I start at 13. No, it's 13. But he have said in his heart, he have said, my strength of my hand, talking about the Assyrians, which the modern day Assyrians is the Babylonians, which are the Americans, right? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And it says, for they say, by the strength of my hand have I done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent, I have removed the bounds of the people and robbed their treasures. I have put down the inhabitants like a violent man. So they pushed the boundaries of the people. So people had natural landmarks, and now nobody has no landmarks. So that's a completely against the scriptures. When you go into what's it? I'm just gonna quote this one. Ahab wanted his neighbor's land, because of the garden. So he told this particular individual, I want to buy this land from you. And he said, no, this is what the Most High gave me. So he went to his wife. He was sad. And Jezebel, his wife, says, why are you sad? And he told her why he was sad, that he can't get the land that he liked. He liked the garden. And what she did, she said, you're a king. You take whatever you want, which you can't. A king can't do that, right? I'm just quoting the things. I'm not going to get it. And what ended up happening? She said, don't worry, I'm going to get you that land. So she signed, she wrote a letter to the people that was surrounding that man and telling him, look, the king, no, she didn't write it as, she wrote it as it was the king himself. So they end up killing the man and then took his landmark. Oh, you know what? I know why I got to read that. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but is it First Kings before the war? 19? But because I want what the Lord said unto Ahab. No, not that. Right. And it says, okay, yeah, he sent Elijah. It was Elijah that came curse his ass out. And it says, right, First Kings 21 and 17. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, arise, go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth. So he took the vineyard, whether he is gone down to possess it. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, in the place where dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall the dogs lick lick that blood, even dying. So the Lord don't like that. This is why Scripture says, I read it earlier, but I'm going to read it again. Habakkuk 2 and 8. No, sorry, 9. Woe unto him that covet an evil covetousness to his house. So when you go into the word covetousness or covet, to break off, gain by unrighteous violence, get, finish, be covet, be greedy. And this is the extension of Esau. That's what, that's a spirit. it comes in mind now. Psalms 49 and 11. It says, their inward thoughts is their houses shall continue forever. For their dwellings places to all generations, they shall call their lands after their own names. So despite if somebody's living on that land, he would take that land from you. And then now he's throwing people on top of one another, which is completely against what the Lord created man to be. He didn't create man to be on top of one another. He created man to have the space to enjoy land. Even the heathens were given territories, given different lands. All right. This devil is turning around and taking everything from everybody. This is why Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is coming to destroy this man. All right. He's coming to annihilate these devils. It says, nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He's like the beasts that perish. This their way is their folly, yet prosperity. No, yeah, yet their prosperity approve their sayings to lie. Like sheep, they are laid in the graves. Death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning, which is what? The kingdom of heaven. All right, we're gonna have dominion, and all these nations are gonna have their land back. That's according to Isaiah the 14th chapter. They're gonna have their land. They're not gonna be on top of one another. Okay, they're gonna be like, this is a fair and just people. Esau is not fair at all. It says, and their beauty shall consume in the grave for their dwelling. But the Most High will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me. All right. So I quoted it. I'm going to end it off from this Isaiah 14 and 16. No, I could go. Let me see if I could go up and down. Isaiah 14 and 5. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, who smote the people in wrath with a continuing stroke. And unbeknownst these idiots, they're being oppressed, being crushed with a continuing stroke. All right. He that ruleth the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth, which is the kingdom of heaven. Nobody's going to come to his aid and say, oh, no, he wasn't that bad of a person. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break and forth into singing. Why? Because this man is going to be taken out of power. If you want world peace, Esau has to be taken out. He's not complementing this world, how the world was established. There's a thing called harmony. He doesn't bring harmony. All right. He brings destruction. He needs to be taken out. And it says, yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon sing, since thou art cut down. Since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. So the trees and the nations are going to be quoting and saying that, like, since you've been taken out of power, nobody's. So this is talking about world peace. The kingdom of heaven, although us Israelites are going to have servants, slaves of the other nations, for them, after that 1,000 years, it's not going to be, it's going to be great for them. They're going to have their own land. Matter of fact, I gotta go. Yeah, let me jump down. Matter of fact, let me jump. It says, verse Isaiah 14, and let me just go to the point. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. So everybody's gonna, not a physical house, they own land. All right. Everybody, all these other nations that is not of Israel is gonna have their own piece of land. They're just gonna have to pay tributary to us. We're gonna be land rulers. We're gonna be ruling over them. and they're gonna have to pay us. All right. It says, but thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through for sword. It's like something that's vile and disgusting. When you cut something, if somebody kills somebody in combat, they don't cherish that body. They fling that body away. Well, the same thing the Lord's saying, like I'm gonna throw you out. You're not you're not worthy to be amongst everybody else. Because when you had the opportunity, when you ruled with great oppression, even to your allies, even towards your own people. It says, with the sword and go down to the stones of the pit, proving that they're gonna be thrown. They're gonna be living in tiny house, tiny holes. All right, Esau, you're gonna be living in tiny holes in the kingdom of heaven. You're gonna know how it feels to have a tiny life. You in like 15-minute cities, you're gonna be thrown in a pit. You gotta figure this shit out. As a carcass trodden underfoot, that shall not be joined with them in burial, because that has destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.